Hello and good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, I would say. Again, hope you and your families are well. I know that everybody has just heard the news or probably heard it earlier today that President Joe Biden has dropped out of the presidential race. Now, I don't know if you have followed me previously before, but I had mentioned it, and I'm going to connect the other video to this one where you can see where I had talked about that happening as of today. And I did mention it, as I did call it. And I had a lot of other people that called me up and they were like, you called it. You called it to a T. And as a matter of fact, I did. I will say, yes, I did. As I sit here and I eat my, these are pretty good on another note. Belvita Crunch, the blueberries, but anyway. No endorsement, just like them. But anyway, yes, President Joe Biden has dropped out of the race. Now, before we go on and continue, I know this is a recording, but please let me know where you're watching me from. Let me know where you're chiming in from. Give it a few minutes. Let me know where you're chiming in from, where you're watching me at, whether it be New York, Jamaica, London, another state, somewhere else. It doesn't matter. But let me know where you're watching me from, so then I can shout your area out. Whether it's Jamaica, whether it's London, whether it's New York, whether it's Chicago, whether it's North Carolina, wherever you are, let me know where you watch me from so I can shout you out. And again, these are very good. I know I'm supposed to be eating these as a breakfast, and it's a little bit late, but I'm a little something to snack on. It's not going to hurt me. But anyway, again, as I stated before, President Joe Biden, has dropped out of the race. And he has endorsed the VP Kamala Harris. Now, a lot of people think that, okay, at this point, it's all said and done. She's the nominee. It doesn't work that way. It basically goes on the delegates and the super delegates. These are the people that have put their delegates behind Joe Biden. These are the people that are actually going to be saying who is going to be the nominee at this point. You know, President Joe Biden can endorse Kamala Harris, nothing against her, the VP, or he wants. If the delegates and the super delegates that put their backing behind President Joe Biden don't put the same backing behind the VP, Vice President Kamala Harris, then she's not going to be the nominee. She's not going to be the pick for this. So I'm gonna have to take that call later. She's not going to be the pick for this, and a lot of people don't understand basically what that means or what it entails. And basically, what it is no matter what Joe Biden says or what anybody else thinks, the delegates and the super delegates are going to be the ones that are going to be picking who the next nominee is. And that's how that works. As I snack on this Belvita. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just watching the TV as they're saying Harris says she will earn and win the nomination. The CNN. So I had to turn it down so I could actually talk to you guys. As I read the other stuff here, Biden drops out of race, endorses Kamala Harris to be nominated. Now again, It all depends on the, like I said, the delegates and the super delegates. They're the ones that are actually going to be picking who is going to be the person that's going to be going to the DMC, Democratic, convention, and be the person that's going to accept the nomination for president. But they have to actually do that before the Democratic convention actually comes up. And right now, it's going to be a mad dash because everybody and their mother is going to come out the woodwork to want to run. And in my opinion, and this is nothing against anybody, please don't take that in any way, or what I'm about to say here. In my opinion only, there are only 3 people, in my opinion, that could probably beat Trump. Maybe 4 now, if I think about it. I'd say 3 people on the Dem side and 1 person on the Republican side if he were to run. Now, the 3 people I'm about to mention, you may agree or disagree with me. All right. One of those people is Michelle Obama. If she chose or wanted to run, she could definitely do it. Other person is, if it was possible, ex-President Barack Obama. All right. Next person I'm about to mention is ex-Governor Andrew Cuomo. And a lot of people say, no, Kev, no. And I'm like, think about it. During the times when we were in COVID and Governor Andrew Cuomo had his noon press conferences, briefings, everybody and their mother from around the world, forget about the United States, globally, on a global level, everybody stopped what they were doing to watch who? Governor Cuomo. Very presidential when he did it. Class act. And like I said, everybody tuned in to watch from around the world and hung on his every word. Now, those are 3 Dems. The one Republican that I think if he were to or should have stayed in the race, believe it or not, Chris Christie, ex-Governor Chris Christie, if he would have stayed in the race, I believe he could have beat Trump. My opinion, in my opinion only. You see here. So they're still talking about some of the same things. Let me see if I can turn it up. That's Newsmax. Let me see what they have to say.
11, 12, 13.
What's the calculus for choosing? Do they go with someone? I've seen some reports it might be Buttigieg. Wes Moore was polling pretty well. You have Whitmer. They need Michigan desperately. Donald Trump had that great rally.
11, 10.
But in my opinion, they're not really saying much. In my opinion, this is going to be an uphill battle. I'm not saying that Kamala Harris cannot do it. She's just going to have to put in a whole lot of work. And a lot of work. You might take what I said as, okay, Kevin, but you said these are only 3 people, maybe 4 people that can beat her. And that's just in my opinion. And that's not doubting that's not discounting VP Kamala Harris. Like I said, in my opinion, I guess we're gonna have to see her in the debate with Trump. But in my opinion, a lot of people are getting tired of both parties. In my opinion, people are looking at it and saying that, they're looking at Trump as being too old. as well as Biden, that neither one of them should be in the race, to be honest. But when it comes down to Republican end, they gonna stick with Trump. Excuse me. No matter what, they're behind them. They're not gonna care about what anybody's saying about anybody being too old, regardless of whatever. They're lockstepped in with Trump. Now, when it comes down to the Dems, there's a saying: the Democrats eat their own, and that's a fact. And again, I look what they did to Governor Andrew Cuomo, and when it comes down to that, in my opinion, their thing is when they can't control you, the Democratic Party that is, they'll do anything and everything to get you or have you step back in line. If you understand what I'm saying. So it's a possibility that these accusations were made up to do that, because if you look back, he hasn't been found guilty on anything, nothing at all, and you don't even hear no more about it. Why is that? All right, just a little side note. But again, the Democrats always eat their own, whereas the Republicans, lockstep, that's their guy, and that's who they're going with, and that's it. They're going to stick to it. So you got to tip your hat off to them for that. The Democrats, in my opinion, need to get things back together here. I'm a Democrat, and the Democrats need to really get things back in line. Because like I said, in my opinion, things are a hot mess, and you're going to lose a lot of people. You're going to lose a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of people that's not going to get out here and want to vote, period, because they're tired. They're tired of everything, both Republican and Dem. But you're not going to have a lot of people on the Dem side. The base is really not, in my opinion, fired up to want to come out and support. And again, I could be wrong. I don't think so, and I really don't feel that excitement, the energy that we had or that was there when Barack Obama ran the first time. It's the same energy is not there. And in my opinion, in order for us to really win this, in order for the Dems, let's say the Dems on any end to really win this, you're going to need that excitement times 10 against Trump. The next thing is you're going to need everybody to come out and vote. Vote at the machines. Vote at the machines. Again, hear me out. We need to get everybody out to vote at your voting place. Wherever you go to vote, go to the machines. No, in my opinion, do I trust the absentee ballot process? Honestly, no. And again, just my opinion. But with that being said, we need the same energy, the same enthusiasm as when Barack Obama ran the first time. And in my opinion, that same energy is not there. And this is where it's really getting scary. And we're really losing our young people. A lot of young people have tuned out. They checked out already. So we need to do something to get them back in. And in doing so, really sitting down and listening to what our young people have to say. Because right now they don't feel like they have a voice. They don't feel like they have a voice at all. They feel like no one is listening. All right? And again, we just have to do better. We have to do better when it comes down to that. We have to do better with information. We have to do better with our picks. And I think some of the people that are sitting in seat that are making certain decisions, in my opinion, some of them need to go because they're not in tune with what's really going on within the Democratic Party, listening to their constituents, in my opinion, or anything else when it comes down to that. They're not listening. They're just sitting, getting together, listening amongst themselves, trying to decide what's best for this area, this area, this area, that area. And they're not listening to the constituents. They're not listening to the voters. They're not listening to the young people that are coming up in the back of us that are going to be the next leaders, let's say, of the Democratic Party, or next leaders, period. They're not listening to them. And that's why, you have a lot of them that have checked out, especially when it comes down to voting, the whole political process. They don't want to have nothing to do with it because they're like, it's the same old dance. And what's going to change? And how is it going to benefit me? Them three things, definitely. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to keep on. I'm going to tune in as everybody else is tuning in, to keep an ear out about what's going on with Biden dropping out of the race. Like I said, I told everybody that this was going to happen. Now, what happens next? Let's just keep our fingers crossed and pray, because this world definitely needs prayer on every level. Prayer for our elected officials on both ends of the party. Dem, Republican, independent. Pray for everybody. I truly pray for world peace because nobody wants war. I never thought in these days and times that I would see half of what I'm seeing now. I never thought that my kids, my two daughters, would have to actually be going through and enduring anything that, like the stuff that's going on now. I never thought that my grandkids would ever see this. And now I have two granddaughters, two grandsons that are witnessing history. You're right, the history in the making. A lot of things that are going on right now. Very historic moments going on right now in this world. So again, with that being said, I'm gonna continue watching the news. I'm gonna get into working out. In about an hour or so. People like, Ev, you work out a whole lot. Yes, I do. I'm looking to keep myself in shape and be around for as long as possible. So again, with that being said, you guys continue to have a great evening. I'll probably check in with you all later, and we'll go more in depth with what's going on with the political race here, with President Joe Biden dropping out, him endorsing Kamala Harris, and let's see what the delegates and the super delegates do when it comes down to if they're going to put their muscle behind her, or, in my guess, they're going to look to pick somebody else. And I don't think that person that they're going to pick is going to be the person that's going to be able to beat President Trump and his vice president pick, J.D. Vance. I do not believe that who they're going to pick is going to suffice and to be able to beat Trump and Vance, in my opinion. Like I said, it's going to take a lot of work for Vice President Kamala Harris to do it. A lot of work. And it's going to take not just a lot of work on her end, but a lot of work on getting the people, well, yeah, you might also say a lot of work on getting the people to come out. The next thing is, and I don't want to scare anybody, but I do believe something major is going to happen that President Trump is going to try to use to his advantage as a scare tactic. He may not have had anything to do with it, but he's going to use it as a scare tactic to say, if I were president, this wouldn't have happened. Again, I could be wrong, but we'll see. With that being said, you guys have a continued great day. I'm going to finish eating these Belvita Crunch. These are good. And again, no endorsement, because they're not like they're going to send me a box, because it's just not going to happen. But these are very good. But anyway, you guys have a continued great day. I'm going to finish eating these and then getting to working out, and I'll catch you later. Have a great evening.